Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 36 of Honest to Pod.
I like the excitement. You were really loud when you said 36.
Yeah.
36?
36! I might have had I might be over caffeinated. Hey everybody, welcome to Honest Pod with me, Ashton McAllister.
And me, Matthew Ali.
Oh my days, that was a delay and a half.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh well, we'll press on.
Okay.
Oh, that was fine actually. There was no delay there.
Okay.
I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
How big is your penis?
It changes quite often, actually, depending on my mood.
Yeah, there's no delay. You answered that question right away. So
that'd be a difficult one because I've got to try and be funny, but that was a great answer, personally.
It was good. It was diplomatic and scientifically correct, and yeah, all rounded.
Excellent.
Episode 36, and we've got a very pearly Matt on the line.
Pearly
means sick.
Poorly.
Oh, do you know what? Right, get this. I get slagged off by people here in Ireland for saying words in an English style, and I get slagged off from people in England for saying things, and I can't win.
You said pearly is the English way of saying poorly.
Poorly. I'd say pearly. Maybe
I mean, it's cute, but it's obviously not right. Yeah. I went really hard on Saturday, right?
Yeah,
got home about 6.
Not make your sickness about me and go back to you not being well.
Yeah, exactly. I woke up so I got home I must have got to bed just before 7 a.m. And then I went to sleep and woke up at 2:30 and my eyes were like glued shut with like fucking
semen.
Yeah. Loads of semen. And now my eyes have been red and like swollen and sore, and they got really, really bad today. And then for some reason, it must be unrelated. It can't be the same. But then my body just went like to break down, and I've been really sick, and I had like flu-y type stuff. So I've been taking like eye drops and flu stuff. So hopefully it's good for Dublin this weekend. Which, you know, I said I'm not super excited about, but you know what? Hey ho. And it's raining all weekend, which is awful.
I know.
Awful.
I looked at the weather after I booked my accommodation, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's really bad, like raining all day. I don't even know what to wear because I don't have a raincoat. So, I mean...
I still have my, the waterproofs we got for Bingham?
But they have hoods. Ago?
They don't have hoods, no.
I've got that, but no hoods. I don't have any like tracksuit bottoms that aren't cotton.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm sorted. I'm okay. I'm gonna bring my rugby boots as well because I don't want to stand on grass.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't want to stand on grass and trainers, so I'll bring rugby boots.
And then maybe there'll be like this time where like you're watching the side and then one of their players gets injured and like, we need someone. Hey, you look like you can play rugby.
I did. I did play rugby in the rain, no less.
I've never heard this. Apparently, Mickey was being like, he messaged me separately, being like, he's actually pretending to play rugby in the rain again. And I was like, what does this mean?
So this bitch needs to control himself. No, what happened was we were doing this workout at the gym and it included running outside. And a lot of people didn't want to run outside. And I was like, I don't care. I'll run outside. And like he's like, nobody's going to run outside. And I was like, I'll still run outside. Because I want to do the work. I think it was like pre the not marathon I did in Belfast. And I was like, I wanted to run more. And people were like, no, let's not run. I'm like, no, I want to run more. And he's like, no, the rain will mean you don't want to run. I'm like, I used to play rugby. It rained all the time. I'm used to running in the rain. That's what I was saying.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, you play rugby in the rain. What a hard... I'm like, for fuck's sake, Mickey.
Go fuck yourself. I didn't know what he meant.
No, but now anytime I do anything in the gym, it's like, oh, this is Ashley. He used to play rugby in the rain.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I'll
get to spectate rugby in the rain, but also someone might be able to spot you from a distance and be like, you can play with us. It'd be a good
That'd be
moment for
amazing.
TV.
uh, I'd save the day.
Exactly. Score the winning touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is it. It's destiny now. It's written in the stars.
That's good. But yeah.
But yes, this weekend we're off to Dublin. I'm excited. I'm going to see your face. I get to see so many people's faces. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of people
I'm
they haven't
nervous.
seen
So
for a while.
is there like dinners or anything booked that because I literally just confirmed everything today, so I don't have any clue what's actually happening.
I think just a Saturday there's a big team dinner, but apart from that, no. No, I'll just see who's around and stuff. I'm going to the Guinness factory on Thursday because I'm going a day early, and then I thought I'd try and find a really good fried chicken place, but then you can't really go to that, so you have to find.
There's a really good buffalo wing place, and I can't remember this name. It does really good buffalo chicken wings. Oh my god, it's so good. It's right
And
in
you're
the
allowed to have
central.
buffalo chicken wings?
Oh, I can eat buffalo chicken wings.
Okay. Well, we'll have a look and see. And then I was supposed to ask my friend Chris, who sometimes listens to the podcast, about because he lives near Dublin. He works in Dublin.
Awesome.
And he loves to eat food. So, yeah, find a good place to go.
Well, he'll know this place. It's right. It's not far from the main sort of street in Dublin. So,
cool.
It's really good.
How would you
really
actually?
Dingy. Oh,
sorry.
It's good. Thank you. I was going to say it looks really dingy from outside, but inside it's actually quite cool, and the food is amazing. My last week was great. I can't really remember much of what I did. I got a little bit drunk on Sunday.
Sunday, probably.
Yeah, no, I just usual worked out, hung out with people, had tea, and then had a couple of pints. Did the most horrendous workout in the gym yesterday. You see it, my hands, they're all ripped open.
Oh my goodness, I know.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't stop people picking me for the rugby team.
No, it's sure that you work really hard. You can grab things really well.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's extra grip.
Exactly.
But, yeah, no, all good. My week, nothing really extraordinary. Nearly finished my book, which is fun. I started watching a TV show called Years and Years. I don't know if you've been watching it, which is really cool, really different.
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I haven't watched episode 3 either yet, but I'm really enjoying that.
But how hot is Dino?
Oh, Dino is really hot. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a nice guy as well. I've met him a few times in the.
Oh, of course.
Oh
yeah, no.
He's a lovely guy. This is actually because we chat quite often. And not quite often. I'll take that back. We don't chat quite often. We chat every now and again.
You and Dino?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
We're friends on Facebook.
And you basically message him and he's like, "I'm busy again. Please leave me alone."
I'm like, "Oh, Dino, stop messaging me. I'm recording a podcast." But we always talk about shows that he's in, and I never watch them. Like he was in what was it, like that banana series, Banana and Cucumber. He was in that. Never watched it. He was in Humans, and I started watching it, and I watched up to the episode he arrived in it, and then I forgot to watch anymore. He was in other stuff, and he was in a ITV series which came out. I can't remember the name of it, but he was in that as well, and he ploughed on for about a year about how good it was, and I never watched it, and then I watched it, and it was actually quite good. And this is the first thing I've ever watched that's actually been broadcasted live, as I've said, I'm watching it. So, shout out to Dino. He actually said he'd be on our podcast.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I asked him ages ago. He said he'd be on it.
Oh my goodness.
But he said he wouldn't want to talk about the usual shit. Like, it was not long after we did the episode about frog blowjobs, and I said if you listen to the last episode, we talk about frog blowjobs. So I'm pretty sure you'll not be asked about just another TV interview.
Oh no! All right, we need to talk about this after this, okay? Because this is really important news and something you kept to yourself. Oh my goodness! We should definitely do it live and naked. 100%.
Yeah, but then you'd just be in your room naked listening to people on the phone.
No. I mean, we're all in the same room. I'll set it up. Don't worry. I'll set it up.
Right,
I'll get some incense.
Yeah.
I'll get some oils.
Some candles going. Yeah. Do you provide needles?
I know you're busy that week though, so
I'll make room. I will.
No. You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to. It's fine. There's enough hair going on. Like we don't need more hair. Okay.
Well, it's not from you. I've seen that forehead.
Okay.
Oh. Anyway, how was your week? How was your week?
Wow. I was going to get my hair cut before Dublin, but now I don't think I will. My week has been pretty strong, actually. It was quite busy overall, and I think I was just going for like drinks and stuff. I was a bit on a date craze, actually, and but we'd spoken about that last time, so I didn't go on anyone last week. I'd seen any guys. That was good.
On anyone. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. I thought you said I didn't go on anyone last week.
My favorite chicken place, right, changed their fried chicken, and I complained a couple of months ago. So they gave me free chicken, and so they changed it back. And I went to it on Saturday, and they changed it back, and I'm just super, super, super happy that they did because it was delicious.
What a great day!
It was, and it was also 27 degrees outside, so I got to eat loads of fried chicken, then sit in the sun in my flip flops, and then have a party. Which obviously I felt really ill afterwards. And I've been ill ever since then. So I was supposed to go and see my mum on Sunday. I'll be able to see her before, but she's going on holiday, and it's her birthday soon. Actually on I was going to forget, on Monday we get back from Dublin, and I had to cancel on her. Luckily now it's actually valid because I thought I was just severely hungover, but I've just been really ill. So yeah, that's not been great the past couple of days because I've been going into work and my eyes have been bright red and swollen and really itchy. So yeah, and I think being sick is also separate to that because what's been wrong with me today is like my stomach and like my muscle. Like I think it's been quite fluey because it's not been like I've had like diarrhea. Like I've been able to eat, but it's just been like I don't know, just a weird feeling. But yeah, came home and napped for 5 hours almost.
I know. I thought you weren't going to record tonight because you were like unresponsive, and I thought, well, you should be finished rugby by now.
Yeah. No, I didn't think I'd sleep that long. I mean, I just assumed it'd be like 2 hours or so, an hour, and then 4 hours and 4.5 hours had passed, and I was like, "Fuck!" Luckily, I'd sort of just, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. That's your health. Your health comes first.
But yeah, so I'm not going to work tomorrow, which is quite handy. So I'm going to try and rest up as much for Dublin because we've got a rugby tournament to play.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
But no, it's been a decent week. But no, actually, for the first time properly, no real news.
And it's nice, isn't it? It's just nice not having, like, just watching the world go by, I guess.
So I think I've been open about, that I speak to a therapist on a Monday, right?
Yep.
And then there are some weeks when there's like bank holidays or things like, trips away that I normally speak every Monday. And there's been a couple of weeks where it will be 2 weeks before I have a session, right? And normally when there's a 2 week gap, as it gets towards like the 10th and 11th day, I start feeling more feelings and like anxiety, or I haven't had any anxiety properly for ages, but just, I feel like I'm needing a top up of therapy, basically, like, someone to help me sort of talk about what I'm feeling. This was the first time in 2 weeks where it came to the session and I was just like, she's like, how's everything? I was like, everything's great. Everything's really good. I even got hammered on Saturday, and normally alcohol throws like my mind completely out of whack. And I was like, no, really good the next day. And everything's really good. Nothing to report. And she was like, maybe we should start doing this every 2 weeks. I was like, hold on, bitch. No. It was only one good stretch of 2 weeks. But it's kind of good that this sort of maintenance of mine and trying to look after myself means that it's, I couldn't be self-sufficient for a longer period of time and really try and deal with my emotions, or not even deal with it. I had nothing to deal with. I didn't feel so strongly about things that I would normally feel really strongly about, which was interesting. And I don't know why, but I'm going to roll with it and see if it stays that way.
Yep. Sounds good. Wow, that's good news. What a great way. That's just made me smile. I don't know, it's just a great way to introduce a podcast, all positive vibes, and it's good.
Excellent.
I have to say, after last week's episode, we talked about Beyonce songs on the podcast. I had a bad week last week. I've had a bad few weeks, I think. Just my own mental state hasn't just been there. I've been challenged on a few things which I thought would be easier, and each day as it comes. I'm not one to moan, you know me.
Well, actually, you have not. This is the first time you're saying this, and I don't appreciate it.
Sorry?
It's the first time you're mentioning this. You should tell her, brother.
Man, I don't know. I don't like to. Anyway, so I've been. I'm in such a better place today. But anyway, after the back of last week's episode where we talked about Beyonce songs, honest to pod listener Adrian Drake, who comes to my gym at CrossFit Limavady, coached by Mickey Walsh, the same Mickey that we talk about all the time, he made a Beyonce playlist for the gym, and it was put on back to back for the 2 hours that I was training the next day. How amazing was that?
He did it because of what we spoke about.
Because he knew I was having a bad week and he knows I like Beyonce. So he said, do you know what? I'm going to do this. And it worked. And at the gym on Friday night when he brought it in, it was pumping. Everybody loved it. We're all going for it. It was brilliant.
That's so nice. Do you have a good playlist as well like that?
Do you know what? Every song was jamming. We were all loving it. It was perfect. Perfect.
Amazing. That's good.
So yeah. Thanks, Adrian. And he's also Adrian. Adrian's very active. He's called Duck Junior, I think, on Instagram. He's always sharing when he listens. He usually listens when he irons, which is nice. Background. He thinks my voice is really sexy.
Okay. Apparently, I'm just a piece of shit, but fine. That mental health stuff has gone right the
window. maybe book that therapist again quicker than you thought.
Good. I guess I need that session now.
Okay. Well, on that note, shall we jump into some issues?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You can go first this week.
Okay. This week is a great and momentous week.
Oh God, no, it is not.
It really is, and I'll tell you why. This week, the best show on TV, Love Island, started again. And I'm going to just put it out there. I have an unhealthy addiction to Love Island. It is fucking sensational. It is one of the best shows on TV, hands down. And it started, we were supposed to record on Monday and we didn't in the end. So I managed to watch an episode. And it just brought back all the old great feelings, everything of every reason why I love the show. It's so good. And it breaks my heart when everyone's just like, it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. The problem is, and I guess that's what we kind of want to discuss about, is it actually terrible for people? Because there have been like studies about, reality TV and mental health, and actually 2 former contestants had committed suicide. And it's not directly related to Love Island per se, and it might have something to do with their own mental health issues. But I mean, I don't feel guilty for loving the show at all. In fact, I will constantly promote it. But there are studies that show that it can be harmful for young people. And I'm not a young person anymore, but for a particular demographic of 18 to 24-year-olds and the kind of advertisement they have in the shows can be quite bad. Have you ever seen the show?
Never watched it.
So this is one thing as well, right? So speaking to our friend Luke the other day about it, and I was like, you need to watch the show. And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, well, how do you have all of these things to say about it? Because you can't comment on something, surely. Huh?
Our friend Luke Evans, the actor from The Hobbit.
Imagine, we need to tag him, make sure we're like, hey, Luke again. Yeah, Luke Evans. But it's not really fair, though, if you're going, I was like, you're just going on a bunch of assumptions, really, because you haven't actually watched the show. And we can have this conversation or whatever, but at least watch some episodes. So we've agreed that he'll watch 3 episodes.
Okay, well, I've never watched the show, but Emer at work, she watches, and she gave me the download today. I said, so what the fuck happens in Love Island? Why are people going cray for it? And she was saying that basically, so the girls are all sat there, and the guys come out one by one, and they say, who loves this guy? And then the girls who love him step forward, and then that guy picks from the girl, like, which all the girl, he doesn't even have to pick the girls to step forward. He can pick any girl, but he sort of the girls who step forward, an indicator who's into him. And then they're like, and then he says, actually, I don't want that busted toe. I want the busted toe behind her. And
why she got to be a
then
busted hoe?
because she's a busted hoe. I've seen pictures of these girls. No.
They choose attractive people for the show.
Well, they must be coming on at some later stage because there is only one attractive person in that lineup.
You're adding to the problem, by the way, just to put it out there.
And he is the Fury guy.
Oh, really?
He's the
Tyson
best
Fury's brother.
guy. That's him. Yep.
Jordan was dripping over everyone on the show yesterday. Every half a minute, he was like, "This person, now this person, now this person."
Nope. So anyway, they come out selected, and then it's sort of like, oh, it's like gym class. You know, at gym class, whenever you're like, oh, who wants to partner up with this person, and then not that ever happened to me, but then the last year just kind of then thrown together and be like, okay, you two go together.
Yeah, pretty much.
It sounds horrendous.
Why is that awful?
I don't know. It just doesn't. Anyway, it's not the point about what I think about it. It's the more important topic of, is it right or wrong? So you're asking, is it for viewers or is it contestants' mental health?
Well, there are two elements to it. Okay, so they got backlash after last Love Island, and the fact that since then, although people from the most recent series, not including this one, were not included in the two individuals that had taken their own lives, but there was a question about whether on these shows, there's aftercare and there's thoughts of like looking after people once they've been on these shows. So there's going to be like more of an effort and a scheme about looking after people once they've exited Love Islands, because one of the difficult things about reality TV is being thrust into the limelight, right? So you're going from basically completely anonymous to someone who's got all this pressure and people wanting you for one moment. Like a lot of people on these shows do like PR visits in nightclubs and stuff, or group settings where people come sign your, want signatures or pictures with you, and then you end up just going to like a hotel room and you're just completely alone and no attention and no one with you, and you don't know how to deal with things like that. You don't know how to deal with the sudden injection of money. So now after the show, you're going to have like basically aftercare, how to deal with money, how to deal with fame, media training, all of these sorts of things, which is good. It's great news because it's not just about what happens there, and that's for the contestant, because you wouldn't want the same thing to happen again. They put Jeremy Carr. So Jeremy Carr was cancelled at the end of last year.
Just a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Because of a contestant also committed suicide after they'd done a sort of lie detector type situation.
Yep.
It's about talking about the fact that they're not being cared for because it's there for entertainment purposes. And I guess I know it's true. Like say in Love Island specifically, that people. So that's got to do with the contestants themselves. They're being picked up. They might be potentially vulnerable people because arguably they're going on there for fame and for the competition, because the show's about love, but that's not. You don't go there for true love. They say, and basically in like the 5 years of the show, there's only like one couple that are having a baby and one other couple that are married, but everyone from last year's episodes have all broken up. And a lot of them stay together because they have like commitments to stay as a couple, because it benefits them financially and business wise. So,
yeah.
Which is fine. That's fine for them if that's part of it. I mean, it's basically Game of Thrones, isn't it? Where you stay in a relationship that benefits you both, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Game of Thrones is a fictional world of dragons and witches and stuff, but it makes sense to compare these relationships to those, I guess.
That's based in real life, you little silly bitch. or anything like that, because, like House of Cards and things like that, all of these shows, you stay in a relationship to benefit you both, both professionally and financially and stuff. But then there's another element, which is the people that watch the show, because one thing that I would say that is quite important is the diversity on the show. And I think there's a fine balance. It's really hard. The premise of the show is that people need to be attracted to each other. The issue is the people that are being put on the show all look the same. There hasn't been very many people of color on the show. And if you were, it was very highly noted. So last year there was someone called Samira, and it was very known that she was the black girl, and she was the only one really. And then that's also trying to be tackled by the fact that there are more people of color on this series. Still not a huge number, maybe not a representative number,
Well,
But
this is what Emer asked me to ask you about it because she didn't think it was as representative as it should be.
I still think there's work to do. I
Mm.
still think that it's not representative because um, no, it's not. It's not, and not just black people, by the way, because sometimes I think there's this like easy. I don't want to say easy way out, but when they talk about people of color and diversity, the first thing to do is to get a black person, right?
Throw a black person in, yeah.
But there's actually more than just black and white. Like there's loads of in between kind of thing. So I think that they're like, hey, let's just get more black people on the show. But there are people from all over the world. That's important too. Um, and also size is an issue as well. So everyone on Love Island generally has this, not even just average, apart from one person last year who's I thought was the hottest person was Jack Fincham. I think he's fucking gorgeous. Um, but he was the only one who had a regular body, somewhat, but he was still thin. He wasn't even big. Um, but everyone has insanely good bodies, like ridiculous. There's always like personal trainers and gym owners and shit like that. So this year they've got a scientist who's from Northern Ireland, was she? I think she was Northern
I don't
Ireland.
think so. I think
I
she's from the
sometimes get
south.
confused with the accent. Huh?
The token black girl.
That's the thing. She's black and she's a scientist. So she's both the smart quota and the black quota. And they wanted two smart people in there, so they got two smart people. Instead of just like like social media types. But then they've also got a curvy girl in there. But the thing is so Jamila Jamil, do you ever like follow her on Twitter?
No.
Really?
Who's
You
she?
should.
What's her name?
She's an actress on The Good Place, and she used to be like way back when. She used to be on like T4 and stuff like that. I can't remember what else she's actually been in. I'll be honest,
What's her name?
most Jamila, Jameela, Jamil, Jamil. And she's on the thing she's on most recently is The Good Place, which is great. You've never heard of The Good Place on Netflix?
No.
Wow.
I know her. What is she in? She's in other stuff.
She's been in. I think she's a very regular actress and stuff. But she's very open and she responds very often on Twitter to things that she doesn't necessarily see are right. Especially she had this anything to do with body positivity stuff. So she suffered from I don't know if she suffered from eating disorders, but been subject to wanting to change her body shape, to be in the media and stuff. And then she's always against people that there are a lot in America. There's a lot of celebrities that will promote like detox and flushes and stuff, which makes you just shit out everything, but it doesn't actually promote a healthy lifestyle. And then she posted about the fact that there's a girl on the show who's supposed to be curvy, and she is more curvy, but she's still mad thin, like a flat stomach, really tiny waist and stuff. Although after the first episode, she seems really funny and she seems like a great personality, actually. So it'd be interesting to see what this girl Anna's like, because I actually really endeared myself to her. I think she's had a lot of work done, so her face didn't move very much. But the thing she said made me laugh a lot, actually. But for them to be curvy, they still chose someone who's mad thin, and it's difficult because I guess if you had someone, say with my body, it makes me feel like I could never be on that show unless I lost like 4 stone. The issue is I guess now that I'm not so in my early 20s for sure. Yeah, no, I remember actually when I was 18 to 24, within that age, just finishing like sixth form college, going to uni, working and stuff, I used to have a lot of issues with my appearance. Tons and tons and tons. And I'd lost a lot of weight at that point because of it. So I can understand why seeing those people do well on a show and say that this is what you're attracted to would make you think that. The issue is if how do you no the issue is they need to come up with a way of adding more diversity when it comes to different shapes and sizes. I think. For sure.
Yeah. But then do you think some of the appeal of Love Island is the fact that people are attracted to people on the show?
I do.
And that, so if they had less I'm not going to say less attractive, but less what society deems as attractive people. So basically, your cover models and Instagram models, and even this more curvy she's a plus size model, isn't she? She is a model by her job title. If you didn't have models, would as many people tune in?
Well, I think that's a different. It's not what society deems; it's actually what they want society to think, isn't it? So that's the problem. It's like, well, okay, if you're saying that you need to have someone who's slightly larger, but why is that what you think is attractive? Why do you think that that's what they'll be attracted to? And I imagine they fill in like some forms to say who you're attracted to. But it's kind of like when I think about like gay people and stuff, right? So like I don't know. I'm always still a little bit in shock. I've been on this good run, right, with like guys and stuff. And I'm now in my later years and stuff, even when apart from getting bigger recently, I've been happy with my appearance. I'm still surprised that people like me, especially, it sounds really weird, right? This is really bad. I don't know why I'm saying this. This has come out of nowhere. But I'll still say like this really white guy, and then I'll be like, I wonder why they really like me. Because I don't look anything like them. And I actually still think this to this day. And I find it really bizarre. And it's got nothing to do with how attractive I am or what I look like. It's just strange to me. And then, so like being on like Love Island is like, they're saying like, you've got to look a certain way, and these people will only be attracted to a certain type of people, but they don't actually know until they put this wide range of people in a place. And I think of gay people and gay men, like we've got all these berry types and all these certain types, but actually in a group situation, like, say like Dublin, say like Union Cup, for example, you're going to see, and people we know, so many different types, get with so many different people that may look like them, but in lots of instances do not, because they're different ages, different sizes, really different appearances. And I don't think that's just gay people. I actually think there must be an element of that within straight culture, although I have no idea, but we're not necessarily representing that as much. We don't represent that within the gay community completely.
Yep.
But in real life, it's actually different.
Let's back up a bit. You should have more faith in yourself. Don't ever question why somebody likes you. Just roll with it, because as soon as you spit doubt, you'll start causing barriers, and then those barriers will just grow. So I'm not saying this to you yourself, Matt, but just in general, just learn to roll with it. There's times I think, like, geez, why is this person attracted to me? I'm like, fuck it, they are. Let's just go roll with it until they're not, or I'm not. So that's just the way to roll. Secondly, do you remember, and you called me racist for saying this, do you remember I said, I think you look like Michael B. Jordan in that photo, in a certain photo you posted, and you're like, oh, you're just racist because we're both black. Well, somebody else very recently, within the last couple of weeks, said, your friend Matt looks like Michael B. Jordan. And I'm like, I think so. I swear to God, I'm not even lying. Like, may God strike me.
And just to be clear, this is a very white, very Irish person, right?
Yeah, somebody face to face told me this.
Okay, just to put it out there, just to double down on that, it wasn't someone else, but someone who's very white, very Irish.
White Irish guys have said that you look like
right. So that's a great example of how you're right. Okay.
Oh God, I don't know if this is backfiring or not, but it was meant to be.
I think it's definitely backfiring.
Why is it backfiring?
You just said the problem is we say that white people say that all black people look the same. You just said another white person said a black person looks the same.
Well, you the one that wanted to know if it was the person was white or not, but of course it's going to be. There's not very many black people in Ireland.
No, I made an assumption, and my assumption was correct.
So maybe don't assume so much and just listen to the compliment. I get told all the time I look like different white people. I'm not going to call that person racist.
I don't know, like Michael B. Jordan. I wish I did, but no, I don't. I like my face, but
I don't think I look like Ryan Phillippe, but apparently I do.
It's those lips, isn't it? You got those tubey lips.
Yeah, I do have tube lips, and I sometimes get curly hair when it grows.
Yeah, and they're sort of like little shiny blue eyes.
Yeah,
maybe you do.
Okay, I'm convinced. I'll take it. And there's a few other things there, but I can't remember what we were talking about after it, so they might come back to me later on. But I just wanted to say, just have more confidence.
Well, I didn't say, I can't believe these people like me. I didn't say that. I was just
Have more faith
surprised.
in yourself.
We just said that my self-esteem is something that apart from last year, been pretty good overall. It's just a funny thought, isn't it? I think it's a thought I wish didn't happen, but it is funny, isn't it, that I think that, and I don't know. Well, not that I don't know why. It's just interesting to me. I'm just a bit like,
Yeah.
I don't look like anything like the people that like me.
Maybe that's good.
Especially, because I am bigger these days, and I'm like, fuck me. What you say?
I said maybe it's good. I just in my head because if everyone looked the same and just fancied the same people, how boring would that be?
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say I'm glad that Love Island started, and it's honestly, the show is sensational. I guess I wasn't really saying anything apart from the fact that I do think that there are maybe attempts to be more diverse overall, but I don't think it's the most diverse show. Will people watch it without that? I don't know either, because I like looking at attractive people. I like the fact that they like each other and they'll just fuck each other over. I do think what is important is the aftercare of the contestants, because I believe that, there'll be a bad stigma on people that will go on these shows, and a lot of people don't watch it because they might be like, okay, they're vacant people that just want to, who have no talent, this, that, and the other. And I have no problem on reality TV shows, whether it's American Idol or, X Factor or The Voice or Love Island or Big Brother, where, people are just trying to make the most of any opportunity. I guess the issue is some of them are desperately trying to get famous, and those aren't being looked after. Maybe we need to have an understanding of how to look after or not give people those opportunities if it's to the point where it's dangerous, and actually prepare people for what is going to be changing. Because one thing they're trying to do on Love Island, I'd say not one thing, there's more links to people who are already famous. So the idea is that, Tyson Fury's brother has an understanding of what fame is like, so it shouldn't be such a shock when they'll be thrown into the limelight afterwards.
Right, okay.
But there's only two people really that have these like tenuous links to sort of celebrity at this point. But basically, watch Love Island. It's fucking amazing. And I hope there's better aftercare, but also I do understand and believe that there are some issues when it comes to looking after young people's perception of what their body should look like, especially when it gets to the point where they want to self-harm or, feel bad about how they need to change their bodies based on what they see on television. I don't want that. And I can understand and do believe that it probably has that effect. But I do love Love Island really badly.
There we go. At least the advertisers are getting what they pay for then, I guess.
It's really bad how much I love the show.
You're not alone. I think loads of people love it.
So good. So good. And I would recommend it to anyone. The episodes are long now.
I would recommend Chernobyl. I know I've piped on about it for a couple of weeks now, but oh my god.
You also got like gassed for explaining it really poorly to me. Someone was like, I can't, it hurts. It hurts the way that he's explaining it. And I was like, okay.
What? How did I explain it poorly?
I don't remember. Poorly or poorly?
Poorly. Because I don't want to give away too much. Otherwise, there's no point. Like,
no, but the actual real Chernobyl apparently is bad. Anyway, I don't want to go over it. We should go on to your topic.
Oh, was it? Somebody had to go at me for not knowing where it was and then saying how I got there in the end. I was like, right, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'd be interested to know what our listeners think about Love Island. Do they watch it? Do they not watch it? If they had different cast members on it, more diverse cast, would they find it just as interesting?
Yeah, because remember last time we spoken about whether there'd be like a gay one or something, and that wouldn't be possible. But yeah,
lesbian gladiators.
It would literally be like a nuclear disaster. The explosions would be insane.
Yeah,
and somehow they'd figure out how to get married on the show as well. And you'd be like, "Where did you get this cat from? What? Did you steal a cat from outside?"
The cat just comes.
It's been 4 weeks, and you're married already. Those lesbians.
Oh, those lesbians. Oh, gotta love them. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Right. Anything else, Matt?
Nothing else from me. In fact, I keep my nose keeps getting blocked, and my eyes hurt. And you know when you're ill and you just get really needy?
Mm.
That's what's happening right now. Just this moment, I'm getting away with it right now.
Can I just say you, and I mean this coming from a friend to a friend.
You are okay.
You don't need to be ill to be needy.
Me personally.
Yes, you personally.
Stop it. Okay. Yeah, open up a
Coming
can of
from your
worms. I'm not getting
unneedy,
into it.
coming from your unneedy friend.
I was going to say, this is you, son. You're talking about yourself.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next topic, shall we?
Okay, cool. So I put up something the other day about how that Catholic bishop in, I think somewhere in America, maybe it was Illinois, had said that just a reminder that Catholics should not be attending Pride because it's immoral and it's harmful to children. And obviously that the Catholic bishop was saying that, the irony was not lost in the fact that it was a Catholic bishop who, I think he chose to ignore the many pedophile accusations made in the Catholic Church. That was one thing I want to talk about, but I didn't want to talk about it because it sort of, I talked about religion last week, and I didn't want to talk about religion again this week. But a good note from it was one of the other guys who goes to the gym, Jordan. He said that in his local church, there was a stand-in bishop, or not bishop, or whatever it would be, coming to the local Catholic church.
Priest.
Is it a priest for Catholics? I don't know. I get minister and
I
priest.
thought they're a bit. I have no idea.
Anyway, whoever's giving the sermon was had about a 10-minute sermon about why homosexuality is wrong, and apparently quite a few older people got up and walked out. Well, quite a few people got up, but what was remarkable is a lot of the older generation also got up and walked out and said they would not go back until he is
moved. Amazing.
So that is quite good. It's very good, not quite good, very good, which is awesome. And I just, it's you think like Limavady, where I'm from, is small town. This is from like outside small town, so this is like small town. So
like 3 people. So when you say the old people, it was the old person.
It was the local, the token old person for the, yeah. But that was positive. But what I want to talk about as my official topic for the week is Anne Widdecombe and her outrageous statements. Did you see them? Did you hear about them?
Yeah.
So I obviously post again about this on social, and lovely people love to challenge sometimes what I say, and send me private messages and keep me talking to the early hours of the morning or whenever. And that's fine. I love a good debate. Some people are more open to debates, and other people have the opinion that their opinion is right and they can't be challenged. But I have my opinions, and it's what causes a good debate. But for anyone who doesn't know, Anne Widdecombe, who is an MEP for the Brexit Party, who've just been elected into Europe, was asked on a recent interview, I think it was on Sky News, about some comments she made back in 2012, where basically in an article in 2012, she was, in a roundabout way, very indirectly advocating for gay conversion therapy. The headline of the article is, where is it? I've lost it now. Helping those who aren't glad to be gay. And then a subheader saying almost anyone can get help for anything from psychotherapists in this country except gays who do not want to be gay. So the article is, in a very roundabout way, advocating conversion therapy. When she was asked about it, she defended it by saying that science may yet find the answer for being gay. Now, how would you interpret that?
I thought she got a little bit of extra stick that maybe in my head, and it's not right, I guess. It was one of those old people because she couldn't like connect the dots in being like, okay, she kept on saying that trans people can change their bodies to fit their gender, so why can't people change their sexual orientation? And I didn't necessarily say that shit was wrong, but somehow she'd seen them as the same thing. And so I was a bit like, people are like, oh, she's saying it's a choice that you can change. And I never necessarily didn't hear her say, I didn't hear from it that it was her saying you can and should change it. She was just saying that there's lots of things you can do with science, one of which is change your sexual orientation the way that you can change your body. The issue is they're not the same. But she's a crazy old lady.
No, the exemption from old people, like being old does not make you exempt. You live in today's society with enough education, enough resources around you to know that it's not right to be homophobic. So you can't just say, oh, old people. I know I'm not having to go through this, but I know people do, but it's no longer an excuse. I'm sorry, it's no longer an acceptable excuse to say, oh, old people. She's not just an old people who's a batty old. I mean, she's a batty old bitch in my opinion, but she is actively against LGBT people. Like, it's not just her, and this is what people don't understand, because a lot of people who came back to me on my post had the same approach that you had, saying, "Well, she didn't really say that." And I'm like, "Yes, she did." Like, if, go read into Anne Widdecombe and you will understand exactly what she said. She's Oxford educated. She's not just a batty old bitch from up the road. She's smart, she's educated, and she has a way with words. She writes articles for newspapers. Like, she's not just somebody who's given a microphone and allowed to freewheel. She knows exactly what she's saying. She attacks LGBT people all the time. She thinks that our culture's acceptance of transgender people she's described as lunacy. She backs businesses who decline customers who are gay. She even criticized Harry and Meghan because they supported the decriminalization of homosexuality in all the Commonwealth states. So she's not just somebody who's got her words mixed up. She knows exactly what she's saying, and she knows exactly what she's not saying. She's worded this in in a way that you could read it for interpretation, and she can come back at a later point when questioned and say, "Well, I didn't exactly say that." It's like, yes, you did. She has advocated for gay conversion therapy in the past. She so when she's saying find an answer, it's position it like it's a problem that there needs to be an answer. There doesn't need to be an answer for being gay. I think part of the problem, which goes back to what she wrote before, was when she was saying things like helping those who aren't glad to be gay. I think to approach it saying, well, surely there should be I think her point was she was making there was the idea of conversion therapy isn't even being allowed to progress anywhere because activists are saying it shouldn't be allowed. Now, I can understand what she means. Like, unless you test it, how do you know it won't work? But there has been tests. There has been things done to gay people in the past that have been harmful and leaves them worse off. And I don't believe ever will work. Like, you can't change who you are. Like, you can't change your eye color with what you. It's just it's not. It's not right. Gay conversion therapy, for those who don't know, includes methods. Not all gay conversion therapy includes this, but notable ones of the past, which when I did some research, include lobotomies. So that's people, and this was done by a guy in the States to over two and a half thousand people, and he had no surgical training. But I think I didn't. But I think he has the power of God. No surgical training, but he operated on 2,500 people, brain surgery to correct their gayness.
Oh my goodness.
Leaving about 40% of them paralyzed. Corrective rape. Lesbians would be raped by men as a way to correct their lesbianism, as as a way to convert them. And electrotherapy. So people have been electrocuted. It's not like this is what this is. I'm not saying this is what she's advocating for, these methods, but this is what conversion therapy is. It's still legal in the UK to have conversion therapy, even though about a year ago the Conservative Party did say that they were going to outlaw it. It's not yet been outlawed, and it has been classed as dangerous by all major counselling and psychotherapy bodies in the UK and the NHS and the NHS. So it's not a practice that's supported by any medical governing bodies. So coming back to what Anne Widdecombe says, in the sense of there has to be an answer, the answer isn't, in my opinion, the answer isn't let's test and see what we can do and see if we can make unhappy people happier. The answer to me is building a society that's more accepting, so people don't have to be unhappy being gay.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and to me, the solution for that is getting rid of people like Anne Widdecombe from positions of power. So, in an interview today, the leader of the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage, who surprisingly to me came across as non-homophobic in this. I thought he was, but I don't know. He didn't come across as homophobic in the interview. But Piers Morgan pressed him pretty hard and said that as the leader of the Brexit Party, is he going to punish Anne Widdecombe for her views or what she said? And Nigel Farage said that he will not, because it's because she's a devout Christian. He believes that she should be entitled to her views as everyone else is entitled to theirs. You don't have to agree with them, you don't have to disagree with them, but they're her views, and you should let her say what she wants.
If they don't represent a group of people, that is, though, and that's like the same thing as
Israel Folau.
The Israel Folau thing. Like,
exactly,
it's not just like, okay, you're open to views, that's fair enough, but then if they don't represent your own views, but then so it might be the inverse of that. So if you feel like people are able to express themselves, and actually they might fall in line with your company or your group, the group's views, then obviously you wouldn't get rid of them. So maybe she's not the only one who feels that way.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the leader of the Brexit Party is Nigel Farage, and he has said he doesn't agree with her views. He did it in a very roundabout way, but I believe the outcome was that he said he didn't. He obviously does not believe with her views in that. The Brexit Party have no sort of manifestos brought together. They've only been around for 6 weeks. So there's nothing about equality or anything in there. But the same thing, she's an elected MEP now who isn't going to be, or maybe in a position where she can influence changes, or influence litigation. So it's interesting here where we're at the doorstep of. But I don't. Yeah. So I don't. The point it was trying to make was that don't take what she said as face value as what she said, because it's not what she was saying. I urge people to do a bit of research more on Anne Widdecombe, because she's not just a little old lady who gets herself confused. She knows exactly what she's saying. I wanted to go on and talk about things as well, but I'll have to save it for another day because we're getting close to our time. But yeah, I will save it for another day. But yeah, Anne Widdecombe, what a wee bitch.
You definitely convinced me, though, because she does know what she's talking about. and she's probably got away with her words. It's
Oh,
fucked.
she definitely has a way for words. Yeah, I don't think she's very happy. She can't be.
What was I watching something and said hurt people? Oh, it was RuPaul's Drag Race actually, and it was the reunion and the finale was last week. Actually, that's one thing I should mention. I had a viewing party, and that finale was excellent. I thought it was really good actually. And in the reunion before that, one of them who was like lashing out to everyone was just like hurt people, and it's true. You know, when you're hurt yourself and when you're feeling a certain way, then you lash out to others. I don't know if this is her feeling hurt and having insecurities though, because I don't know, but that's what happens. I do believe in that statement.
I do as well. It's like I saw a song that came on. I was listening to earlier today. Oh, what was it song? What was the song?
Hurt people, hurt people.
Hurt people,
No.
hurt people. Everybody
Pretty hurts. Beyonce.
No, it was Hold On by Wilson. Wilson? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
You've got no one to blame for your unhappiness. You got yourself into your own mess. Letting your work. You know this song? Hold on for one more day. You're bound
I'd
to
have
know
to
this
hear
song.
a version that's actually understandable.
Oh,
That's tough.
You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. I feel like I'd know the song, but your rendition of it was not cute.
I think my rendition of it. Someday somebody's gonna make you want to turn around and say goodbye. Till then, baby.
Is that song?
Yeah.
Oh, then I definitely know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the words are, so I don't know how this is related. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, this is all about you've got no one to blame for your unhappiness. You've got yourself into your own mess.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, then yes, it makes complete sense.
Totally. Gone for one more day. There we go. Makes perfect sense.
I didn't know that was about that, but yeah, definitely.
I don't know if it's about that. It just made me think of that there now when it came into my head. But cool. We're getting very close to our hour here, and I don't know if there's anything we're going to edit. So this is going to be a longer episode because there's a couple more.
For sure.
Quickly shout out about it.
I've got to go to bed.
Well, talking about gay rugby and the Union Cup, there's been two UK rugby players who used to or do play for teams in the UK that made the news this week as well. So there's the Bristol Bisons player. I don't know if you've been following that story, but he's a Kenyan. He's lived here for over 10 years. Do you know him?
I don't know him now, actually. I don't.
No, it's sad. His asylum his request for asylum got denied, and he has to leave without delay and go back to Kenya, where he will face up to 14 years in prison for having gay sex. So it's very sad. I'm not sure. I didn't in the article I read. It didn't say anything about what else people can do. I don't know if it's a case of everything has been done that can be done. I'm not sure.
No, I think they'll appeal one more time.
Can they? That's good. That's good. It's so sad. So sad. And then I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if he's still there. Oh, does he still play the guy Fez? Fern Can?
No, he does not.
Does he not? I didn't know if he still played or not.
No, absolutely not. No one would. No, he does not.
He made the news as well. Did you see?
He did make the news.
So, his name was Fez, right?
That's what he's called for short. His name is Farhan Khan.
Farhan Khan. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Because I was like, I'm
upset we're giving him airtime. I'm just going to put it out there.
Well, I think I have watched that video so many times, like when he screams, and I have got so much pleasure from watching that video. and as much as I do think, in his defense, that the amount of manhandling was maybe inappropriate, but also buy a fucking ticket, mate. So this guy was, I guess, thrown out of Birmingham Pride because he didn't have a ticket. And he then went on a protest to saying about pride isn't about profit. No, but people there are making it safe, and you pay your ticket to cover their salary to be there for the day. Clean up the streets, clean up your vomit from when you're sick and lying in the corner. So I also didn't like the guy because he ran into me 5 years ago, and I've been holding this grudge for 5 years, and now it's finally come out, and I'm happy, and I'm like, yay!
What do you mean he ran into you?
Oh, he rubbed me up the wrong way at Pride London about 5 years ago. I was organising kits for people to wear in the parade, and I made it very clear to everyone that do not show up expecting to wear club shorts. Club shorts are off limits. We'll supply tops, but no club shorts. He rocked up and he said, I don't have any shorts. And I'm like, that's too bad. You can't have any club shorts. And then he stole a pair from the bag. And then the next thing I see, he's outside wearing them. I'm like, I said no. And then he had a massive shouting match at me in the middle of the street. And I was like, oh. And then Tim came over and Tim's like, it's fine. But if he loses them, he pays for them. And I was like, oh. And then he rained on my parade because it made me unhappy because I got so worked up that he didn't follow the rules. And I love rules. And he didn't follow the rules. And then
you love your own rules.
Gary,
you love your own
I do love my own rules. And then Gary Webb came over and he made it feel better. He's like, let's just get drunk and enjoy Pride. And I'm like, yeah. And I just spent 2 hours giving him evils in the parade, and then I got drunk. But he rubbed me up the wrong way 5 years ago, and now payback. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I have to say
well,
about anything this week.
Anymore. Perfect. So let's not. All right then.
But if you have time to check out that video and hear his, if you have time to check out that video and hear him shriek, it is quite funny. Just saying.
Yeah. No more airtime for him.
Well, do you not like him either?
I hope you have a lovely week, Ashley.
Oh, there's a story there. I'll get out of you this weekend in Dublin. I'll see you I'm going to see you in 3 days.
Oh, good, yeah. Yep, we'll see you in sunny Dublin in our flip-flops and shorts and sunglasses.
Yep. Keep me clued into what you guys are doing. So I am arriving Friday at some point. I haven't decided what time yet, but Friday at some point I'll be down. Well, probably around 4ish, I imagine.
Cool. I don't know what I'm doing on Friday.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing your face. Oh, thanks everyone for listening. Make sure you check us out at Honest Pod on Instagram, and have lovely weeks until next week.
Ciao, ciao. Have a lovely week.
Bye.
Bye.